Hello, welcome back. I'm Abhishek De Silva, an undergraduate of the JAM Institute for Advanced Technology. Welcome back with the project named eShop, and today I'm going to discuss about the program of the cart page, including product adding and viewing process. Here we can see the product of the relevant user has listed here, and we can see the seller name and the relevant product name and the condition, color, and also the price, the quantity, the delivery price. And here you can see the total amount, and also we can see the summary section has also updated. So here in the home.php file, if we click on this cart icon, we can see that a message displayed as new product added to the cart, and we can see that the relevant product has added to our cart and our cart has updated. And if we click on the relevant product again, we could see that the quantity is updating. Here we can see the message displayed as the cart updated, and here we can see the quantity has changed to 2. So then let's move to the code of this. In the home.php file, for the cart icon, I have given a non-click function. I have called a non-click function as add to cart. I have sent a parameter as the ID of the product data, and if I move to the add to cart function, is that relevant function. I have obtained the parameter here through the ID, and I have created a new XML HTTP request and stored in a variable called request here. And then I have called an anonymous function in each change in state of that request, and I have checked whether the status is equal to 200 and the ready state is equal to 4. And if so, I have obtained the response text of the request and stored that in a variable called response here, and then I have added the response. Here I have used the get method, and I have sent this information to the add to cart process.php file, and I have binded the ID to the URL by the name ID here. And here I have used to mention that I'm using the Ajax method, and I have sent the request to the add to cart process.php file. So then let's move to add to cart process.php file. Here at first I have started the PHP script, and then I have used the session start here, and then I have included the connection.php file. And after that I have checked a session by the name U is set. If not, display a message as please log in or sign up first. And if a session by the name U is set, and then again checking that the ID is coming through the get method. If so, this process is taking place, and if not, display the message as something went wrong. And here we have obtained the ID that comes through the get method and store that in a variable called PID here, and also I have obtained the email of the user in the relevant session and store that in a variable called user mail. And here I have called the search function with the query as select all from the cart table where product ID is equal to the PID and the user email equals to the user mail that we have obtained. And I have stored the results that we get back from the database in a variable called cart results set, and then I have obtained the number of rows in it and stored that in a variable called cart num. And then again I have called the search function with the query as select all from the product table where ID equals to the PID, and then I have stored the relevant results that we get back from the database in a variable called product results set here, and then I have obtained the results in the product results set variable through the fetch assoc and stored that in a variable called product data. And after that I have obtained the quantity stored in the product data array and stored that in a variable called product quantity here. And I have checked whether the cart num is equal to 1. If not, it comes to the else of this, and in the else I have called an IOD function with query as insert into the cart table, and then I have mentioned the relevant columns as quantity column, user email column, and the product ID column, and then I have set the values as 1 and the user mail and the PID. I have set the quantity as default as 1, and then I have coded message as new product added to the cart. And if the cart num is equal to 1, that means the relevant product has listed in the cart page already. So then we have obtained the cart results through the fetch ASOC and store that in a variable called cart data, and after that I have obtained the quantity in the cart data and store that in a variable called current quantity, and then I have added 1 to the current quantity and store that in a variable called new quantity here. And after that I have checked whether the product quantity is greater than or equal to the new quantity. If so, I have called an IOD function here with the query as update cart table, and I have set the values as quantity is equal to the new quantity, and I have used the where clause to specify the relevant row as cart ID is equal to the cart ID that we have stored in the cart data. And then I have a code message as cart updated, and if this comes to the else of this, that means the product quantity is less than the new quantity, then we echo message as invalid quantity. So then let's move to the cart.php file. In the cart.php file I have included the header.php file, and then I have included the connection.php file, and after that I have checked whether a session by the name you is set, and if not, a message is displayed as please log in or sign up first. And if a session by the name you is set, we have obtained the email that's stored in the session by the name you and stored that in a variable called user here. And then I have created some variables and I have assigned the values as 0, the total variable, and I have assigned the 0 value and also subtotal and also the shipping. And here I have again used the PHP script, and then I have called the search function with the query as select all from the cart table where user email equals to the user, and then I have stored the relevant results we get back from the database in a variable called cart results set, and then I have obtained the number of rows in it and stored that in a variable called cart num. And then I have used an if condition, and I have checked whether the cart num is equal to 0, and if so, we have used the empty view here. That means no any products have stored in the cart page or cart table relevant to this user. So then if the cart num is not equal to 0, it comes to the else of that if condition, and in the else part we have displayed the code relevant to the product, and there are products stored in the cart table relevant to that user. And here I have used the PHP script, and I have used a for loop here, and I have created a variable as x and assigned the value 0, and I have checked whether the value of this x is less than the cart num, and then I have used an increment here, and then I have obtained the results in the cart results through the fetch ASOC and stored that in a variable called cart data, and then I have coded a search function with the query as select all from the product table, and then I have used an inner join to join the product image table on the product.id equals to product image.product.id, and I have used the where clause and id equals to cart data product id. It means the product id that's stored in the cart data. And then I have obtained the results that's stored in the product results through the fetch ASOC and store that in a variable called product data here. And I will discuss about the total and the shipping price in another video. And here we have again called the search function with the query as select all from the user table where email equals to the user email that's stored in the product data, and I have stored the relevant results set that we get back from the database in a variable called seller results set, and then I have obtained the relevant results in this through the fetch ASOC and store that in a variable called seller data. And then I have created a variable called seller, and I have stored the first name and the last name that's stored in the seller data to the seller variable. And then here I have echoed the seller variable or the value of stored in the seller variable as the name of the seller, and then here as the src of this image tag I have echoed the image path that's stored in the product data, and then as the name of the product I have coded the title that's stored in the product data, And also here as the price, I have echoed the price that is stored in the product data, and also as the quantity, I have displayed the quantity that's stored in the cart data as the value of this input tag. So let's talk about this change quantity function. Here I have called and change quantity function on the change of this input tag, and I have sent a parameter as the cart ID that's stored in the cart data. So then let's move to JavaScript file again to discuss about this change quantity function. Here I have obtained the element with the ID cart num and the value of it and stored that in a variable called quantity here. And then I have created a new XML HTTP request and stored that in a variable called request here. And then I have called an anonymous function on each change in state of this request, and I have checked whether the status is equal to 200 and also the ready state is equal to 4. And then I have obtained the response text of this request and store that in a variable called response. And then I have checked whether the response is equal to updated, and if so, I have used the reload function here, and if not, I have added the relevant response we get back from the server side. And then here I have used the get method to send the information to the server side, and I have sent the information to the cart quantity update process.php file, and I have binded the quantity by the name quantity here, and I have binded the ID by the name ID, and I have used the true here to mention that I am using the abstracts method. And then I have sent the request to the cart quantity update process.php, and then let's move to that page. And here at first I have used the PHP script, and then I have included the connection.php file, and after that I have checked whether the quantity is set that comes through the get method is set, and the ID that comes through the get method is set, and if not, display a message as something went wrong, and if so, we have obtained the relevant value that comes by the name quantity and through the method get, and store that in a variable called quantity here, similarly the ID, and store that in a variable called CID here. And then I have called a IOD function with the query as the update cart table, and I have set the values as the quantity equals to the quantity that we have obtained, and I have used the where condition, and cart ID equals to the CID that we have obtained. And then here I have a code message as updated. So this is the process of the cart page, which including the product add-in and viewing process. So then let's meet to the next video, and bye for now.